In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the matching screens in the bank feeds area of the software. Firstly, on the left hand side, click into the bank module. If you scroll down to the correct bank account, so we can see our business account, we've got the option to import because that has been linked to our online bank, and above the current account hasn't been linked and it still says activate. So all we need to do is click on the import button next to the account we want to import to. And next thing we do is just need to put the correct date range in. So I'm going to import from the 1st of April 2014 until the end of April 2014. And once I'm happy with my date range, I just hit the load button. So once I hit the load button, first thing you'll notice is one transaction has already been matched. So the software has picked up that I have an unpaid invoice for £2,050 and I've got money coming to the bank for the same value, so it's automatically assigned that to invoice number 8. If for any reason that was the wrong invoice number and I've got multiple transactions for the same value, I can just hit the cross sign on here and that will then bring up the match button for us to go and allocate. If I click the match button, it will now bring up a full list of unpaid invoices within my software. I can then search on a customer name or I can search on a value. So I want to find all invoices for 2050, and if I hit search I can see I've got 2 in there, and that payment was actually against invoice number 7, and then that will then be assigned. It's just a process then of going and matching the other transactions through. So we've got one here which is a cash withdrawal. All we do is hit match, and then I can either go and match that against a purchase invoice that I've got sitting in the system, or if I hit the create button at the top of the screen, I could go and create a new purchase invoice. And as you can see, it's brought through all my suppliers and it's brought through all my codes, or I can just post that directly against a nominal code. So I could just say that was actually just for materials and create, and we can now see that £100 that's gone out of my bank has now been posted to materials. And all we do is repeat that process. So I've got one here for rent. So if I match that, hit the create button at the top of the screen again, and then if I click on transaction, I'm just going to type in rent, and we can now see it finds our rent code, our VAT rate at 20%, and hit create. And then we just repeat that process throughout the system. If you use checks and they cover off multiple transactions, you can multiple select. So if I actually click on the cross button next to that one there and say that £2,050 that came in from a customer was actually covering multiple transactions, I can hit on the match button, and then it's brought a full list of transactions through, and we can say actually that was for that invoice there and for that one there. And we can now see that they've been both matched. The left to clear amount is 0. It does have to balance obviously, so if I clicked another transaction I wouldn't be able to assign that because they need to equal. So I can cross that down. You can do part payment, so I could overwrite that if that was a customer deposit or part payment if I wanted to. But as this balances, I can just click assign, and we can now see that that's a batch payment. So it will record the bank transaction, and also it will pay those 2 invoices off as paid. And all we would do is just repeat that process for every other transaction within the software, and that's how easy it is to use the matching screen within the bookkeeping software.